Honor killings in India. A dark reality.
Honor killings in India represent a brutal practice where individuals, often women, are murdered by their own family members or allegedly bringing shame to the family. It casts a dark shadow over society, revealing how deep-rooted patriarchal norms and rigid social constructs can lead to heinous acts of violence. These brutal murders often involve family members taking the life of a relative, typically a woman, who pursue inter-caste or inter-religious marriages, and is perceived to have compromised family honor. Families, fearful of societal exclusion, may resort to violence to protect their perceived honor. These killings stem from deep-rooted patriarchal beliefs, rigid caste structures, and social norms that prioritize family honor over individual freedom. The societal belief that district honor is more valuable than individual freedom leads to tragic outcomes, often rooted in intercaste or interreligious marriages. Families, petrified of social ostracization and repercussions, may choose to restore their so-called honor through violence, asserting control and dominance over their loved ones. Despite legal protections, honor killings continue to be reported across the country, primarily in rural and semi-urban areas. There are many causes of honor killings: intercaste and interreligious marriages. Many honor killings occur when individuals marry outside their caste or religion, defying traditional norms, challenging the rigid cultural norms that have persisted for generations. Families, fearing social ostracization, resort to violence to restore their lost honor, a tragic irony that highlights their misplaced priorities. Cup panchayats and societal pressure. Unofficial village councils, known as cup panchayats, often dictate strict social codes, condemning relationships deemed unacceptable. They impose their own social codes, often instigating or endorsing honor killings for relationships that they deem unacceptable. By enforcing stringent social codes that condemn non-traditional relationships, they foster an environment where violent acts are justified in the name of keeping honor intact. These groups sometimes endorse or incite honor killings, creating an environment where justice feels unattainable and reinforces a culture of silence. Their influence complicates the fight against such crimes, as community pressures can stifle any hope for change. Patriarchy and control over women. In patriarchal societies, women are expected to obey family decisions made by male family members regarding marriage and behavior. Any deviation, such as choosing a partner or dressing immodestly, is seen as dishonoring the family. In a patriarchal setting, women lose their autonomy and must abide by decisions imposed upon them, with any variance interpreted as a threat to family honor. This control not only strips women of autonomy, but weaponizes familial bonds against them when they seek independence. The psychological terror stemming from potential retribution is a potent suffocation of individuality, leading to extreme punishments and ultimately to tragic ends. Fear of social stigma. Families often fear being shunned by their community if a member acts against traditional norms. The fear of social stigma acts as a deterrent for many families, pushing them toward violent measures rather than addressing grievances through dialogue. The societal pressure to conform is immense, compelling families to uphold traditions even at the cost of a life, leading them to commit violent acts to maintain their perceived status. Weak law enforcement. Despite laws against honor killings, weak implementation, fear of police involvement, and lack of protection for victims contribute to the persistence of this crime. Within this toxic environment, the justice system falters. Often cases go unreported or are covered up. Weak law enforcement mechanisms exacerbate the problem, as victims often find themselves without adequate protection against their aggressors. The consequences of honor killings extend beyond immediate tragedy. Psychological trauma. The effects of honor killings resonate through society, leaving behind psychological trauma for survivors and bereaved families. Survivors and families of victims experience severe emotional distress, living in fear and grief. Victims of such violence endure immense grief, often shunned by their communities, encountering lifelong stigma that isolates them from potential support systems. Violation of human rights. Honor killings violate fundamental human rights, including the right to life, freedom of choice, and perpetuating gender inequality. They reinforce oppression and hinder social progress. Undermining of law and order. When communities justify or cover up honor killings, it weakens faith in the justice system, allowing vigilante justice to thrive. When communities support these acts or choose to cover them up, it emboldens further violence, perpetuating fear and a lack of accountability. Hindrance to social progress. The fear of retribution discourages individuals, particularly women, from making independent choices regarding education, careers, and marriage. This suppresses individual growth and societal development. To curb the devastating prevalence of honor killings, authorities must take decisive action. Strict legal actions and fast-track courts. The government must enforce stringent laws against honor killings, ensuring quick trials and severe punishments for perpetrators. Fast-track courts should be established for speedy justice to ensure swift and firm punishment for offenders. Protection and rehabilitation of victims. Victims of honor-related violence need shelters, legal aid, and psychological support. Authorities must provide witness protection to those at risk. Victim protection and rehabilitation play a crucial role in breaking the cycle of violence and ensuring survivors receive the support they need to rebuild their lives. Abolishing Kap Panchayat's authority. The influence of Kap Panchayat should be curbed through strict legal measures, ensuring they do not interfere with individual rights or promote unlawful actions. Mass awareness campaigns. Awareness campaigns through media, schools, and community programs should educate people about human rights, legal consequences, and the importance of personal choice in marriages. Change cannot occur in a vacuum. Campaigns aimed at educating communities about the dangers of honor-based violence and engaging men as allies will help dismantle oppressive norms, reinstituting the value of individual choice, safety, and human dignity in society. Empowering women, encouraging female education, financial independence, and self-defense training can help women resist oppressive practices and seek help when needed. Empowering women through education and economic independence will create a transformative ripple effect, gradually eroding the deeply seated societal norms that facilitate honor killings. Community engagement and counseling. Religious and community leaders should be involved in spreading messages of tolerance and acceptance. Family counseling can help change deep-seated biases. Honor killings are a stark reminder of the dangers of outdated social norms and extreme patriarchy. While legal measures exist, their implementation needs to be strengthened alongside social change. True progress will only be achieved when individuals, especially women, can exercise their rights without fear of violence or societal retribution. Ending honor killings requires a collective effort from the government, law enforcement, civil society, and communities to ensure that personal freedom is respected and protected.
Only through collective resolve, spanning government action, law enforcement accountability, civil society advocacy, and community education, can we hope to safeguard personal freedom and dismantle the oppressive structures that enable honor killings in India. True progress awaits a future where everyone has the right to live without fear.